Making changes in life is a small price to pay in comparison to having to take no for an answer. When it comes to your dreams, goals, ideas, your calling, your purpose, don't ever take no for an answer. It is better to just make them changes. Some changes you can make right away, but the one thing you can't do is you can't get all the time back you already spent working towards what it is you're doing. If something ain't working out right now, it doesn't mean it can't work out. It just means you might need to work differently. You might have to work smarter. You might have to make some adjustments in your approach as far as how you might be doing what it is you're doing. But not all the time should you take no for an answer just because something ain't working out fast enough. A lot of the times, stuff ain't meant to work out fast enough, because what's easy to come can always be easy to go. You always want to remember that. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to really see some stuff work out. The same way you go put in 6 to 12 hours working for somebody else, you could put in that same amount of time working towards your dreams and goals that nobody else can just take from you. And that's the beauty about working towards your own goals, is because it gives you the experience to know that in any situation you can always make something happen. Always. A lot of times we just get too mentally lazy and we see roadblocks in our way and we think that that's God denying us. It ain't always God denying us. Sometimes He protecting us. If there's a roadblock in your way, maybe He just got something better for you, doing something slightly different, right? It's a whole lot of things that God will call us to in our lives. And sometimes seasons just change. If you're not one who know how to adjust to season changes, man, that could really stress you out. I had season changes happen in my life, right? I knew that about maybe 4 years ago, that God, He really wanted me to make more content and do more video work. But I had already had a cleaning business at that time. And because I knew He gave me that too, I was trying to do both of them. And I ran through a lot of hardship in my cleaning business because the grace of God just wasn't on that no more. And I'm sitting there trying to hold on to two worlds and find myself split in half. And every time I turn around, I run into a hardship. And then another year will go by and I say, man, if only I would have just put all my cleaning business stuff away and pursued filmmaking, I probably wouldn't even be in this position right now. Right? So before you ever got to go through something like that, always remember to adjust to season changes. Right? Because God ain't going to always take stuff away from us. He wants us to make a choice. Or He wants us to do one thing more than we do the other. And sometimes we can get easily distracted. We can get distracted by the people around us. But don't blame the people around you. Always look at yourself and ask yourself, what make you so easily distracted? Because if it wasn't the people around you, it'd be something else. It's you that keep getting easily distracted. It ain't the fault of the people around you. You might be the only one with vision. And you gotta make sure you take responsibility for that. Yeah, I mean, you might not be the only one you know, but you might be the only one with that vision. And you gotta put yourself in the situation of saying to yourself, can me making my vision work out help better the lives of everybody else? Because really, that's really what it's intended to do. is better the lives of everybody else. Your life being better is just a byproduct of that, right? It's a reason God put you in some places and around some people. He want you to be a benefit to everybody around you. And you being a benefit to everybody around you ain't gonna always make everybody happy either. Because I've been in situations where I had to let some people down, and it was the will of God. So you always need to know the will of God is not gonna always feel good to everybody, and it ain't gonna always feel good to you. When you run into situations where it seems like things is just too hard for you to make something work, ask yourself, are you doing the right thing? Are you doing what God wants you to do? The only thing about a believer in Christ is that we have a master over our lives. But see, the children of the world, they can get up and do whatever they want. As long as they play by the rules, they can do whatever they want and make it happen. But if you called by God, you got to do exactly what he say. That's the only thing he putting his blessing on, is exactly what he say. And the only reason I know this is because I've been on both sides of the fence before. If I've never made mistakes, I would have nothing to say. Literally. If I never spent too much time doing the wrong thing, giving too much time to the wrong people, I would have no lessons to learn. Right? But didn't the Bible say that you learn obedience through suffering? Oh yes, sometimes we need to learn obedience through suffering. And that ain't the way you want to have to learn your lesson either. Because sometimes through that suffering, man, you might come out with a great loss of time, a great loss of encouragement. You might end up ruining relationships in the process, wearing friendships thin, all because you had to take it that far. And you don't want to go that far. If it's what you know God has called you to do, he'll put his blessing on it. And don't expect stuff to just work out overnight. But at the end of the day, he told Israel that you go out and do the fighting. You go take the promised land. I give you the victory. That's the thing. He give us the victory. All we got to do is get up and do the work. As long as we put the work in, he'll make sure we get the victory. Dead serious, but it's got to be the work he wants. It can't just be whatever good idea somebody else come up with, or the next groundbreaking opportunity or something like that. But we not called to follow trends. We called to make believers out of people. But whether it goes against the way of society or not. Ooh, that dog is barking like a mug. But so always know, man, he'll be with you through whatever it is he called you to do. Whatever that might be. If you lacking wisdom, you can always ask. But don't feel stupid because you need to ask God for wisdom on something. As if, man, I'm supposed to be old enough to know this by now. No, like, don't always make them assumptions. You might just have to really go and ask. Always go and ask. Pray. What are you calling me to do with my life? See, it's one thing to know what God saved you from. It's another thing to know what God saved you for. I highly doubt people get saved just to live life. No, you got saved to do something. But you got saved for a reason. And most of the time, in fact, all the time, it's going to always have something to do with the harvest. Offering your skills, your knowledge, your abilities to the world should always have something to do with the saving of souls. I don't care how small of a role you play. No role is too small. But like I said in my last video, even Even the dirt on the ground have a huge purpose. Without that, we got no food. If you eat meat, what would the animals eat? If they had no plants growing out of the dirt, right? But don't ever think that what you're doing is too much of a small thing to really make an impact. Because God does not make waste. And he does not come up with things that don't matter. Remember that. Peace.